Good morning. Welcome to week number 2 of the NFL weather forecast. Well, and also picks. We'll see. Hopefully, I do a better job than last week. 'Cause last week, not my best. About 7 and 9 last week. See if we can improve on that. So, first of all, what's going on with the weather in terms of the football games? Overall, not too bad. Most games will not be impacted by the weather, but there are a few, especially along the Gulf Coast. When we take a look at the Panthers and Buccaneers game, then look out for some showers, and those winds are going to be increasing to around 10 to 20 miles per hour. That's going to impact your passing game. So the weather is going to impact the passing game, the running game, and the kicking game. So it could be a little bit nasty out there. And the Buccaneers could use some help anyway. I think the Panthers are going to have a very interesting game due to those weather impacts. Another game that's going to be impacted by the weather will be the Bills at Dolphins. Now, this is going to be a fun game just because I think these are two of one of the better teams in the AFC East. And with that, you throw in some weather, and it's going to get a little bit wild out there. We already have showers starting to develop around Miami, and those showers are going to be capable of some heavier downpours. Winds are going to be around 5 to 10 miles per hour, so I'm not really looking for much of an impact on the kicking or passing game. But some of that rain is going to have an influence on your running game. That is for sure. Another game that's going to be impacted is going to be in the late afternoon game around 4 p.m. And we're talking about the Ravens at Texans. Now, these two teams are battling to be the second best team in the AFC behind the best team ever, the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, with that, you have very heavy rainfall moving into Houston due to the influence of Tropical Storm Beta. No, that's not a mistake. We're actually into Greek letters. And with those Greek letters, we have, of course, Tropical Storm Beta approaching the Texas coast, and it's producing some rather heavier rainfall. Now, the Texans do play in a movable dome, but let's just say someone has a mistake, maybe the roof jams, and they would have an impact on the weather. But other than that, I don't expect too much of an impact because they play in a retractable roof. I know it's not real football if they don't play in the weather, but I don't control these things. So what are you going to do? Another game that's going to be impacted is actually going to be the Patriots at Seahawks. And not because of rain, but just because of poor air quality, because you have all that smoke around. So it's going to be interesting to see how the players deal with that. We've already seen games like with baseball being moved out of these areas because of the poor health quality. So it's going to be very interesting to see how that's going to play out. The Monday night game, not expecting any type of weather impacts whatsoever for the Saints at Raiders. And it's not going to matter because the Raiders are still going to lose, just like last week. So let's go take a look at our picks, okay? Now, I already started off pretty good with Cleveland. I picked Cleveland to beat Cincinnati, and they did because I said so. The next game is going to be Chicago at Giants. I really like the Giants here. I'm not impressed with Chicago's front line. I'm not impressed with their offensive philosophy. And I think the Giants, they're closer than what people think. I really, really do. Hopefully, they get a little bit better blocking in the front line. And I think that with the offensive line improving just a little bit, I think you're going to see the Giants pull this one out. I like Atlanta beating Dallas. I think that Atlanta's passing game is starting to improve, and I'm just not impressed with Dallas's preparation or ability to defend at all. Next game, Green Bay at Detroit. I think that Green Bay is going to pull this one out. It's going to be at Green Bay, sorry. But definitely Green Bay, I think, is going to pull it out there. Tennessee versus Jacksonville. I like Tennessee's game. I really like their running game. I think that they're going to expose Jacksonville because of that. Indianapolis versus Minnesota. This game really was a toss-up to me, but I'm leaning on Minnesota just because I don't really like the way that the special team with Indianapolis is playing out here from what I saw last week. I think that Minnesota is going to shock some people here. It's going to be a close game, though, so it's going to come down to what happens in the fourth quarter. Buffalo versus Miami. I like Buffalo a lot. I really like their whole team focus overall. I think that they have a very strong defense. I think their offensive components, especially their quarterback and their running game, starting to come into phase here. I think they're going to be a team that is going to take over the AFC East as we move forward over the next couple of months and even over the next couple of years. I think they're a young up-and-coming team, and I think they're going to be able to take care of Miami very, very nicely. San Francisco at New York Jets. Well, first of all, the Jets already have some injuries and some players not playing that are going to be very key to their offense. And also, their offensive line is just putrid. So I think that San Francisco is going to handily beat up the Jets here in this scenario. Sorry, guys. It is what it is. Now, you got Los Angeles versus Philadelphia. Philadelphia doesn't deserve to win because it's Philadelphia. So I'm going with Los Angeles here for this game. I think they're a far superior team, the better coaching, and quite frankly, Philadelphia's quarterback looked not good last week, not good at all. And you're going to have to see a major improvement from last week to really convince me that they are a team that is to be taken seriously. Not only that, but they also have insulted Santa Claus. So as a result, they should not be allowed to win any games. That is my decree. Pittsburgh versus Denver. I was really impressed with what I saw from Pittsburgh last week. I think that their defense is far better than what I thought it was going to be. So I think that Pittsburgh's definitely going to handle Denver here. I think that they're going to definitely win that game. Tampa Bay versus Carolina. Tampa Bay looked horrible last week. They don't have a very good offensive philosophy. Other than their overrated quarterback who doesn't deserve to actually win any other games because he's overrated and he cheats. So as a result, I think that Carolina is going to win this game because they're just a far better team and I like them better. Arizona versus Washington. I don't know what the heck's going on in Washington. They got rid of their name. They got rid of their uniforms. They got rid of their identity as far as any type of offensive or defensive abilities. They're a team that's lost in many different ways besides their name. So I think Arizona is going to definitely beat them. I think that Arizona has a better passing game, defensive game. Just their line is better. They're just an overall better team. Then we got my favorite game I'm looking forward to, the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Los Angeles Chargers. Okay, let's just be real here. Los Angeles is not that good. Every year, you have these experts, these so-called experts, who keep on saying that Los Angeles is somehow going to win the AFC West. And they never do, because there's this team called the Kansas City Chiefs that actually is better. So I think this game's going to be a fun game to watch because the Chiefs are going to seriously expose the Chargers' inability to stop the pass, the run, the water boy, anyone. The Chiefs could literally take their quarterback out in the fourth quarter and they will still win this game handily. So definitely go with the Chiefs there. Baltimore at Houston. I think that Baltimore is a better team. They're just a better all-around team. I don't think this is going to be a pretty game for Houston in any way, shape, or form. Seattle versus New England. I really like the defense with Seattle. I think that New England is not going to go away quietly, but I think that Seattle pulls this out in the fourth quarter. And then New Orleans at Las Vegas on Monday. New Orleans is going to beat the heck out of the Raiders. It's not even going to be a pretty game. It's going to be one of those games where you watch the first quarter and then you're like, yeah, this is going to be a slaughter. Now, unless you are a Saints fan, then you're going to really, really enjoy this game. But if you're not, or you're a casual fan, you're probably going to be turning this off by the time you get to halftime, if not sooner. So those are my picks for this week. We'll see how I do. Hopefully I do a better job. Have a wonderful day, and as always, go Chiefs.